Transformers reviews, tech and the news, whatever else I use as a muse. Hit subscribe, I appreciate the views. Influences interest on YouTube.
What's going on, people? This is Influence, and I'm back with a Transformers review. Thankfully, I miss reviewing Transformers. I haven't done it in a while. Feels like ages, but nothing has been coming out. So I found this in Target finally. This Origins Autobot Jazz. You know, the Jazz that turns into his alt mode, his Cybertronian alt mode. And I must say, I'm pleasantly surprised with this figure. Now, not perfect, of course. It has some shortcomings. However, it's cool as hell to me, and it makes up for all of the shortcomings to me. Now, I'll leave it up to you after I get done review if you feel like, you know, it makes up for the shortcomings. And the shortcomings are nothing but what the main line usually is, with the hollowness in the arms. I mean, it's pretty filled in, though, to tell you the truth, and it's not really bad articulated, but there are just a few. But it is a solid figure to me, despite some of the things that I don't like, which there aren't that many. So let's get into it. So you got the figure here. Get into accessories. Of course, you got the directions. They were fine. The box is mangled. You can see it's the Buzzworthy box. Has some artwork on the back, some art, or I should say artwork on the sides, and has an actual photo on the back of the product, and some artwork of Jazz. Some artwork in the front of his alt mode. This box was smashed at Target, so I took a shot. I thought maybe stuff would be missing, but it was not, thankfully. And you get two, or I should say three accessories technically, but they're really two. You get this, which is his grappling hook. It comes apart from the actual grapple, the winch. There is no string though, so there's that. You can put it together, you can take it apart and make it seem like he shot it, or you can tie your own string, who knows. And how that goes in his hand, it's just a 5mm port, and you just flip his fist in, kind of how some Masterpiece does it. But this figure is very intuitive. I like the transformation, one of the things I do like. And you get his gun, and that just goes in his hand with another 5mm port. And you can see, looks like his gun. The only issue I have with the gun is this port sticking out the side, which is made mainly so you can put this on his back. So you can combine these two, and there's storage for in robot mode if you don't want to use it, and there's storage in vehicle mode, so that's great. But you can just combine that and lay it flat on his back, and then he has that look going on. Let's put that aside, and now you have the figure. So let's see the face sculpt. Face sculpt is pretty great. I mean, it's a Jazz face sculpt. Looks like Jazz right here. He definitely has his Jazz on. I mean, it looks like Jazz. Besides this right here, which is just part of his Cybertronian car mode, I think it looks great. I think the paint looks great right here with the gray dyes and everything. The front here, this paint, this blue. And let me compare him to some figures. First thing we'll get is Hot Rod. So I don't know. I know this isn't, I'm not sure what scale this is. Maybe the Buzzworthy scale. I don't know. For him with Masterpiece Jazz, so you can see how they look and scale up. And I think this Jazz is really nice. I think it's one of the nicer figures. I do have Bumblebee Buzzworthy. I wish I had transformed him, but he's in his car mode, so I will compare him, or his whatever mode, his spaceship mode. But I'll compare him in vehicle mode to Jazz here, just so you can see what he looks like next to him. So he's a pretty small figure. And now that we got that out of the way, we can go to articulation. So his head down about that much, up about that much, and you can get a little bit of side to side, and it also spins around all the way. Like I said, his face sculpt is really nice. I do like that. Arms and both shoulders go up to there, do spin around 360. He has a elbow, single jointed, gets you 90 degrees. Has a bicep swivel up here. Hollowness right here. This is probably one of the main pieces I don't like. And you can see this backpack is hollow. You can see it from the front. I kind of wish it came in a little bit, like they pushed it in a little bit so it followed the body line. But that's a nitpick. Hands are fixed besides going in. Don't do anything else. Get these out of the way. He can do the full splits. All the joints are tight. He does the full hurdles, so no problem there. Bicep swivel at the top here, and this is hinges, pin joints, so that's great. Knees leave a little bit to be desired because of all this, but you can get about 90 degrees. I mean, I'll give it to him. Feet have a good rocker all the way down. Toe goes down, none up. It goes down mainly for transformation, and there's no independent heel spur really. Well, I guess this is the whole heel spur, and this is just the toe. So no movement up or down on the heel spur. And you see the back. You can kind of see his colors. I really like this blue. It is a little, it feels a little mispainted, but that's a nitpick to me. It looks great when I look at it. This does come up sometimes when you're manipulating it, and that's after transformation. The first time I transformed it, or when I first got it, it didn't come up at all. But then after transforming it, you know, stuff gets a little loose. Removing parts. So speaking of transformation, let's get into it. Spin this head back. It's not a hard transformation at all. It is intuitive and nice. But then you move this up on this double hinge. His neck kind of rests in there like that. Then you can move this. This goes up kind of on this double hinge as well, but you don't have to put it all the way up yet. Just move all of that like that. Put his arms in, and then you can move it like that where it'll only bend outward. It's the backwards bend, so you want to move it all the way around so the fist is out. And you move this up here like this. And again, you want the fist pointing that way when you move this up. Then you can just leave the arms like that. So now the legs, you can kind of see where it's going. You can move this up here like that, and it'll peg in underneath here. It'll kind of go in right there like that, so it covers all of the front of the chest. Then this is kind of tricky because you want to move this back. I did it out of order. You want to move this back before you push this up, because you want this symbol to be up. Then you can push this all the way up here like this, and that way it goes in even better because you don't have this in the way. Then you want to try to get this. This gets difficult because you're like moving the plastic around the plastic, getting it like that. So there you are, you have it like that. Now, my first instinct was to push these arms down, and I'm like, are they gonna go in somewhere? But they kind of soft peg on the bottom under here once you move this, once you get these legs right. So you just want to move this out like that. There's a flap here. I'm gonna move out and then move this back down. You can flip the feet up both sides and do it over here. It's a little tight when you first do it because there's a peg hole there that peg fits into, so it's really solid. You put it back down. Now I don't know if it's better. I don't know if it's I don't think it is. They tell you to do it like this. I did want to try something because it seemed like if you move these, you're gonna have to move these legs, but to me it seemed like if you move the legs up while it was open, it would be easier, but I don't know if that's true. And I'm doing it on this side just to see. Yeah, I don't know how true that is, but it wasn't that bad. It wasn't terrible. There you go. So let me try it over here again, just so you can see. You're moving this in. Really, they tell you to do it while this is already in, but it's tight, so it's hard to do. But I can see why they tell you to do that, because it's not enough room here for all of this. And make sure this is out of the way. It's hard to get these out of the way. In the meantime, then you can. These are really tight. Go together. There's two pegs at the top here that go on the top, and this goes here, like kind of like that, and then you get that where that is. And then there's a peg here that this goes into. You can kind of see it right there. And the arms peg into that space, into that peg. There's a peg hole. And like I said, it's like a soft peg, but it's in there. Well, and here you go, the vacuum cleaner. No, I think it's great. It's great that the way it looks, the arms looks like it's floating. You can see the arms, but I think that's a great touch. Like when you have it like this, you're gonna have to bend down to see the bottom, so it does give it the illusion of floating, because you know they were hovering. See the stuff in there. It's going on through the blue windows. Got the spoiler back here. All this stuff. Got the grill symbol. Yeah, not much to say. So then if you want to arm him up, you can arm him. Oh, I forgot. This piece, I forgot all about it. This piece stores. You can leave it out, because then you can put it back here if you want, and kind of act like he's doing his thing, but then it stores right here if you don't need it. So there you go. It goes in there like that. And in my trying to do that, I saw another peg spot. There's a peg hole right there on the side of his arm that should go in that peg right there, but I don't know if I can get it in there now. Yeah, so oh yeah, okay, there you go. So it adds some extra stability, and it makes it so the arms don't come out. There we go. So then the arms are in there like really tight. And like I said, you can put the gun up here if this is what you want. You can put it back here if you want him to just have it in tow. And you also can put it sideways, so it's just laying down. I like it like this. Since they were on Cybertron, it's no reason not to have a gun on. To be ready. Be ready, you ain't gotta get ready. And here's Bumblebee in that famous scene from the first episode. And yeah, these are great. I think these are great figures, and I hope they do more. I can't remember what other. I mean, I know Soundwave had that lamppost that you could do with the G1 figure anyway, and probably the new figure you could probably do because it was just like his arms, and it wasn't kind of weird of unofficial mode, but or it was official but looked unofficial. So we can go back, as I always do, or most of the time I do. That's hard right there to get that out. That's a problem. And see, this came off the friction joint. So get that out like that. Same over here. And that feels like it came off the friction joint as well. Sure did. And you want to kind of pull that back. And this is what I'm talking about, like trying to get the legs out. This is how they tell you to do it. It's so tight though. It's hard. But you can do it. You see, I did it. These are really tight. Those over under pegs right there. Super tight. Move that out. Push this down. Move it back in. Clicks. Move that out. Push this down. Move it back in. There's the, that's how you know you got the leg right. Clicks. Pull this out a little bit in order to get this out of here. There we go. Yeah, that's like the worst part, trying to get that around there. Pull this out and down. Leave it like that. And you can put the arms out. Pull his winch out of this little spot right there. Then on that double hinge, and peg that in there. Spin his head around, and then you can put this down more. There you go. Kind of flush back there. And just get the arms, as I say, anatomically correct, where the elbows elbowing. Flip the feet out. And you can put this back here as well if you want, if you just want him to have a gun. And that's what I'm going to do right now. This is a really nice figure. I really like it. Like I said, ain't no figure perfect, but it's great. It's a great little figure. It's fun. It reminds me of a Legends figure, kind of. It's just intuitive and easy enough to transform, but hard enough to be fun. All right, so thanks for watching this video, and I will get up with you in another one, hopefully soon.